What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about Manchester United's last game that we went and played, Everton, away from home at Goodison Park. So let's just get straight into today's video, guys. So we made one change from the last game against Watford. So we started with De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, Matic, McTominay, Fred, Fernandes, Greenwood and Martial. Overall reaction: De Gea mistake and late VAR drama. A missed opportunity, should have won the game. We got away with that today. Thank you VAR, I fucking love you. What a game, full of controversy, still unbeaten. Unfortunately it's a draw. Oh well, onwards and upwards we move on. Anyway, guys, no messing about, let's just dive in straight into the questions, guys. What did I make of the performance? I think the overall performance, I thought it was okay. I think at the end of the day, I don't think it was one of the greatest performances out there. I think overall, we showed a lot of fight to come back into the game, because obviously after going 1-0 down with that early mistake by De Gea, which I'll get into in a minute as well, we showed character, fight and spirit to come back into the game, which we needed. You know, we knew that Everton were a great team. They've got a lot of quality players, they've got a top manager, and we knew it was going to be a tough place to go, to Goodison Park. I think everyone was expecting for Manchester United to win this game, because obviously, you know, we've got a tough run of games coming up, because obviously we've got City next week, we've got Tottenham the week after, then we've got Sheffield the week after. We've got some tough run of games now this month, so everyone pretty much expected us to win this game against Everton. Everyone's now saying, oh, we've got to beat City next week. No, let's just take it one game at a time. You don't want to think ahead, you know, that we've got to beat City, we've got to beat Tottenham. We know we can beat Tottenham at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, Tottenham, they're struggling. Look what happened last night to them. They lost 3-2 to Wolves. At the end of the day, you've got to take it one game at a time. We've got the FA Cup this week, so we've got to look forward to that first, and then City. So you can't be getting ahead of yourselves saying, we must win this game, we must win that game. There's still plenty of games to go. There's teams around us that are still dropping points, and we should have capitalised. We should be 1 point behind Chelsea. But that's football. The overall performance in this game was okay. I don't think it was a top-notch performance. The first half, I think no one has no words from that first half. I think the first minute, you know, I think we started okay. I don't think it was one of the best of starts. And then all of a sudden, De Gea just took too long. Was trying to be clever, and Calvert-Lewin paid the price. He capitalised on a mistake. I was just thinking, is that even allowed? And it was allowed. And De Gea was too clever and took too long on the ball. Should have got rid of it early, and he didn't. He had Maguire to the left of him, he had Matic in front of him, and he had Lindelof to his right, and he had options. He went for the option in front of him, and he didn't see Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin scored the early goal to put Everton ahead. So yeah, pretty much everyone was pissed off at that, and yeah, it's gutting, and it's a kick in the teeth, really, because it's a setback and a stupid goalkeeping error that should never have happened, a comedy of errors, really. And you know, De Gea once again is on a top wage. He's probably the most paid goalkeeper in the world now, and he's making stupid mistakes like that. So it's not good enough. If you're the most paid goalkeeper, you should not be doing that, you know. And obviously Richard Hartis, you need to prevent that of not happening again. And yeah, so I think from that mistake, we showed fight, spirit, passion, pride, character to get back into the game. I thought we were a lot. I think from that mistake, we looked a lot better. You know, we got on the front foot. We played with lots of energy. We were aggressive. There was high intensity, high tempo. We created chances. Matic had a few good cracks on goal. One unfortunately hit the crossbar. So we had a few early chances on goal. We looked the better team after that mistake, and we bounced back really well from that mistake. And then we could see the goal coming. We were growing into the game. We picked up the momentum. We were confident in front of goal, and we just put the pressure on, and then it came down to another goalkeeping mistake again, because Pickford tried to play out from the back, passed it to the right back. The right back tried passing it on to another Everton player, lost the ball. Matic passed it to Bruno. Bruno put it in the back of the net straight away, and that made it 1-1. And obviously now there's that whole talk now, if Jordan Pickford's going to be a good enough goalkeeper, is he going to be England's number one goalkeeper for the Euros this year? So yeah, it's a bit of a in the middle situation, and people are saying, he's not a good keeper. He's a good. People are saying he's not a good keeper. People are saying he's a good keeper, but we'll have to find out of what Gareth Southgate does, because he was at the game actually, Gareth, as well. So yeah, and then obviously that was pretty much the first half. First half was, I think, a few errors, a few comedy of errors here and there, and then we grew into the game. And then I thought second half we didn't look great. I think tactically we were awful. I think all of a sudden Ollie said to the players, stay calm, stay patient, sit back deep, wait for a mistake to happen, capitalise on that mistake and score on it. And that mistake didn't happen. So I thought the second half was awful. I think it was tactically very poor by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and that in the second half, that's the stage of the game where you should be really chasing the game down and scoring another goal. And we had that in us. If we didn't have to sit back deep and do all that, it wasn't necessary, because both teams wanted it. It was an open game. Everton wanted it. United wanted it. But Everton were all around us in that second half. They kept on. They must have had about 25 corners in that second half. It was ridiculous. And, yes, it might have been great defending, but, I mean, it wasn't good enough by giving all these corners away and stuff like that. They were all around us. They dominated that second half, Everton. They were all around us. And to be fair, they deserved to win that game in the end. But we got lucky enough by VAR right at the end to help us out. And that's why we should be thanking VAR once again. And I'll get into that as well. But yeah, we got away with it massively. And, it's a missed opportunity once again. We should have won this game. We had to win this game, because we would have been 1 point behind Chelsea, a couple of points off by Leicester. So, there's other teams around us that are dropping points, and we should be really capitalising. And that's the same. That's the usual same, really. The inconsistency comes back again, but we know we can still say, we're still unbeaten after the winter break. And but yeah, unfortunately it's a draw. It's not good enough from the players. We showed great character, fight, spirit to come back into the game to get that goal. And then you would have been thinking in the second half, go and chase the game down and let's go and finish them off. And but no, Ollie got the tactics wrong in the second half. He said sit back deep, capitalise on a mistake and score on it, but we didn't see a mistake, and it was tactically all wrong in that second half. And tactically got it all wrong in that second half, and the substitutions came on way too late, and just goes to show again. So yeah, but yeah, not good enough in the end, but onwards and upwards. Fortunately it's a draw, and we look forward to next week really, and let's look forward to the next game in the FA Cup, really. De Gea's mistake sticks in the throat, doesn't it? It does. It's a kick in the teeth, to be fair. I think I was very frustrated with De Gea with that mistake, what he did, because when I watched that back, I was fucking kicking myself, because you are the most paid goalkeeper out there. You're playing for one of the biggest clubs out there, Manchester United, and you're making a stupid fucking mistake like that. You had Harry Maguire literally 2 yards away from him. He had bloody Matic in the centre of him. And then he had Lindelof to his right of him. He had Maguire right next to his left. And Maguire was the easy option. And he decides to go and do the silly option by trying to pass it to Matic. Calvert-Lewin was there. Clearly didn't see Calvert-Lewin there. Calvert-Lewin just capitalised on a mistake that De Gea did, and it was in the back of the net. But it's a kick in the teeth. We should have won this game 1-0. Pretty much disappointed that we didn't come away with a win. You get punished like that. We got punished by another De Gea mistake, so it's not good enough. And De Gea needs to wake up and smell the coffee now, because that wasn't good enough. What do I think of the calls to be dropped or taken out for someone like Dean Henderson? Look, to be fair, Dean Henderson's been knocking on the door, and so has Sergio Romero. I mean, before that Tranmere Rovers game, De Gea made a few more mistakes then, and everyone was saying Sergio Romero deserves a start. He's probably one of the best second goalkeepers out there. Sergio Romero's knocking on the door. You've got Dean Henderson knocking on the door, who's out on loan at Sheffield, growing his confidence, getting the minutes under his belt, starting games as well. Dean Henderson's going to be one for the future. I mean, Chelsea having that whole Sega right now with the goalkeepers, because Kepa's making too many mistakes, and they've got Cavallero coming in as well, and he's making mistakes, so they can't suss out their goalkeeper situation right now. And we're pretty much the same. It's not going off. If he has to be dropped, Romero deserves a start, because obviously we can't play Henderson, can we? But obviously when he comes back to Old Trafford, then we can probably play Dean Henderson then, because we know that Dean Henderson is the captain for Sheffield as well. Fair dues to Dean Henderson. It'll be good to get someone like Dean Henderson in for the future. Romero's knocking on the door. Romero's got more clean sheets than De Gea right now. It's not good enough. We'll have to wait and find out what happens. Was it a fair result? I think at the end of the day, you got to look at the game. I think people are saying Goodison Park's a tough place to go, but at the end of the day, this was a must-win game. We should have won the game. Tactically, got it all wrong in the second half. If we were a little bit better in the second half, a little bit more intelligent in our play, a little bit more smart in our play in the second half, we would have beaten them 2-1. I think at the end of the day, you've got to look at the result. Was it a fair result? I think it was at the end of the day. I think it is. It's a tough pillar to swallow, obviously, because of the result. You've got to look on the bright side. It's only a point. Wolves are right behind us. We've got Tottenham 2 points behind us. We've got Arsenal 5 points behind us. But Arsenal have got some tough games. So have Tottenham. I think at the end of the day, yes, it was a fair result, but it's a tough pillar to swallow at the end of the day. It was a fair result. Did we get lucky? In terms of VAR, I think we did. But in overall, no. We didn't get lucky, no. I think you do need a bit of luck here and there nowadays, because with VAR coming in play, you always need a bit of luck. When that VAR came out, I thought to myself, I knew straight away that VAR needed to help us. That's why the player impeded. He was in the way. He was in the way of De Gea. Literally, his 2 feet were out, and then he puts his 2 feet back in to make it look like that it wasn't offside. It was in De Gea's line of sight. He impeded. Suck it up if you don't like that decision, but that's what VAR's there for. If it wasn't for VAR, we would have lost the game, and we did. If VAR didn't help us, we lost all 3 points, and we should be lucky enough to get a point. Overall in the game, no, we weren't lucky, but VAR came lucky for us at the end of the day. Obviously, tempers were flying all over the place. There were some baffling decisions the ref made. Did the ref have a mare last night? Of course he did. The referee really pissed me off in the game. He made some baffling decisions in that game. I couldn't really understand them myself. Dishing out yellow cards for no reason. Pretty much all of our back four nearly had yellow cards, except for Aaron. It got to be a very scrappy game in that first half when he was just dishing out yellow cards. And I think half of those yellow cards weren't necessary. I think Chris Kavanagh should be apologising to Fred last night, because the United player shouted for a handball on the Everton player, and then 30 seconds later the Everton players are calling for a handball by Fred. And you know what? It came off his knee. It's not good enough. He gave Fred a yellow card because it came off his knee. It didn't come off his arm. It wasn't even a handball. That referee should be apologising to a few players last night, because his refereeing was very, very poor last night. It was atrocious. He was not giving free kicks when they should have been given. Not good enough for me. And we all know that these referees, they're not good enough. We need to get rid of them because they're not good enough. I don't think they're fit to be in the Premier League. They get the wrong decisions. They don't know what they're doing half the time. Half of these referees need to go to Specsavers. It's not good enough at the end of the day. And that referee, Chris Kavanagh, should be apologising to half of our players because he got half of those calls wrong. Maybe 75% of those calls wrong. He should be apologising to a few of our players. He owes us a few apologies to those players, because I thought he was dreadful. Poor refereeing overall. He was very, very fucking poor last night. He was not good enough, Chris Kavanagh. Who was my man of the match? It's got to be Bruno Fernandes at the end of the day. Scored another goal. The guy's a hero, he's a legend, and he kept us in the game. He scored us the goal. Scored us a crucial goal to keep us in the game, really. Fair dues to Bruno Fernandes, what an absolute player he is. How do we beat Man City? Now, obviously, we've got Man City next in the next fixture. Obviously, Man City have just currently beat Aston Villa 2-1 in the Carabao Cup final. City will have the confidence against United. We've seen a City going up and down this season. They've been inconsistent in times as well, City, because, when they went on a poor run of form, picked up form again, they went on poor run of form, and now they're just all of a sudden playing some good football now. They're playing some good stuff now, City. At the end of the day, we've got to look at Man City's game last night. Did they play the best? No. They only just won that game 2-1. Aston Villa could have beaten them last night. I think City, they're just another team like us. You know, they've been inconsistent this season. They've not been good enough overall. They've not been showing that high-class standard football. City will come with the confidence. They know they've got the winning mentality. The mood in the dressing room's great. The players have got smiles on their faces. The mentality's there. The mindset's there. So they'll come into this game with full of confidence, full of momentum. They'll look to come into our game and they'll like to obviously win the derby. Obviously, it's a big occasion. We've got to turn up for it. I think we've got to beat them the way how we did them at the Etihad. We've beaten them twice at the Etihad this season. I think it's all about, if Ollie goes with a similar starting 11 from against Man City from December, I tell you what, we'll beat them again, because at the end of the day, Dan James has got a bit of a knock. He'll come back for that game as well. We're hopefully seeing a couple of players coming back now in the next few weeks as well. The likes of Pogba as well. But it's just all about have a quick and bright start, play with lots of energy, play with aggression. We need high intensity, high tempo. We need hard and low crosses into the box. Make sure you get players in the right positions where you can just go and finish off your dinner. The end product needs to be there. You need the creativity from the players. Bruno Fernandes, obviously, he'll push the team on. You need your front three to play well as well, with the likes of Dan James, whoever plays up top there, Martial as well. So we need the best out of our players. We need that quick and bright start to the game. We need to play with lots of energy, lots of pace, get the ball out wide, make some good crosses into the box, take your chances, score your chances. City will be up for it. They'll come with a game plan, they'll come with the tactics. It's also depending on how well we prepare for this game, mentally, physically as well. It's a big occasion, it's a derby. We'll definitely turn up ourselves. We'll look to get Man City back as well. It's a big occasion, it's a massive game for both teams. Can we beat Man City again? Of course we can. We're going to be seeing a similar starting 11 from last time as well, with Fernandinho playing again at centre-back. Laporte came back from injury, now injured again. I'm looking forward to a good game against Man City. They'll look to win themselves, they'll come with a game plan, they'll come with the tactics. If we can stick to our game plan and stick to our tactics, and if Ollie picks the right 11, we'll win this game. I hope we can shock them again, because we know we can shock City at the end of the day. They think they're the best in Manchester, but they're not. And we've beaten them twice this season already, in the Premier League and in the Carabao Cup. It's currently 2-1 to Man United, so why not finish it off? This is the icing on the cake now, back at Old Trafford. I'll tell you what, we're on a good run of form now, and this is the time to beat Man City back at Old Trafford. I want to get them back after that Carabao Cup as well, when they tore us absolutely apart, and that was because we played a B team. Ollie's just got to pick the right starting 11. If he does that, we'll win the game, honestly. Just have that quick and bright start to the game, and we'll expect fireworks. I'm expecting a good game, again. First goal, Pickford tries to play out from the back. The Everton player loses the ball. Matic won the ball back. Matic passed the ball to Bruno, and Bruno scores an absolute cracker for 1-1. Get into the stats now. Possession-wise for Everton, it was 44.4%, and for Man United, it was 55.6%. Goals for Everton, it was 1, and for Man United, it was 1. Total shots for Everton, it was 16, and for Man United, it was 14. Shots on target for Everton, it was 5, and for Man United, it was 5. Shot accuracy for Everton, it was 31.2%, and for Man United, it was 35.7%. Shots inside the box for Everton, it was 12, and for Man United, it was 5. Shots outside the box for Everton, it was 4, and for Man United, it was 9. Total passes for Everton, it was 327. For Man United, it was 426. The pass accuracy for Everton was 73.7%, and for Man United, it was 77.5%. Getting into the substitutions now, Greenwood went off for Igalo. Talk about Greenwood's performance. Some good movement off the ball and linked up well with some careful touches. Headed a good chance over the bar and not fully aware when played through by Fred. McTominay went off for Mata. Talk about McTominay's performance. Veered too much towards the wing at times in the diamond and was on the periphery too often. Kept going but had no real impact. Martial went off for Williams. Talk about Martial's performance. In keeping with recent form, Martial's performance was a slow burner. Only this time there was no goal. Onwards and upwards. Man City next. Man City is second in the table. You know, like I said, they'll come with a game plan, they'll come with the tactics. It's a derby, it's derby day. I'm looking forward to it. It's always a great game against Man City. It's at Old Trafford this time, so I'm expecting a very good game from both teams. They'll come with a game plan, they'll come with the tactics. Prepare well for this game, mentally, physically. Come with the right mindset, the right mentality. Prepare well for this game, and I think we can beat them. Get the right formation, Ollie, as well. Get the right team. We can beat them again. So far, Man City have scored 68 goals this season, and so far Man City have conceded 29 goals this season. Man City have the 4th best defence so far this season, and we are the 5th best defence as well so far this season as well. Man City is scoring 2.5 goals per game and conceding 1.1 goals per game. Man City have won 18, drawn 3 and lost 6. The games that they lost are Norwich 3-2, when Wolves beat them 2-0, Liverpool beat them 3-1, we obviously beat them 2-1, Wolves beat them 3-2 again, Tottenham beat City 2-0. The last time Man City lost away from home was on Monday the 3rd of February 2020. Will that come back and haunt them a month later? I hope so. Man City are not having the best season so far. They have been bang average, and that's why we need to beat them as well. Yet again, they have defensive problems with Fernandinho playing as a centre-back once again. Laporte came back from a serious injury, now he's injured again, so that's bad news for Man City. The last time Man United won at home was on Sunday the 12th of April 2015, and it ended 4-2 to the Reds. Can United beat City for the first time less than 5 years later? I hope so. The last time Man United lost at home was on Thursday the 25th of April 2019, and it ended 2-0 to Man City, and that was only just last season. The players to look out for is Walker, Zinchenko, Gundogan, Rodri, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, David Silva, Foden, Sterling, Jesus, Aguero and Mahrez. Hope you guys have been enjoying another video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you are new. See you guys in the video in the next couple of days, and peace.